Every congregation has a unique personality, unlike any other. And when God calls a people together, bringing together all of our frailties and our emotions, our life experience, our walk in the journey of faith, He makes us into something much larger than we could ever be individually. We become part of God's hope for the world. We become part of Christ's church. So what is the personality of Westminster Presbyterian? We decided the best way to find out was to pose a number of questions to a wide variety of people that make up this unique congregation. And so we did just that at our Vacation Bible School this year. And the answers that we got were inspiring, insightful, and some of them just downright hilarious. So if you could be me, if you could be the pastor of the church for 1 week, what would you do?
Say the kids could run around and jump wherever they wanted to go.
What
have
else?
a party.
Have a party?
Have a kids party and maybe order some pizza and cake. That would be fun.
Well, if you could ask God one question, what would the question be?
Well, our dog Otis, we had to put him down, so I would ask him how he's doing or if he's in heaven with him.
So, we have breakfast here every month, right? Right? And you like breakfast, right? So if you could tell the men of the church any food that you could have for the breakfast, what would it be? What do you think, Will?
No.
You don't know?
No.
No? You don't want to have any food at breakfast?
No.
No? Okay. What about you, Sydney?
Eggs.
Eggs? Eggs? Well, let's take that off you.
Ah.
There we go. Glad we got the boom mic. Yes, sir.
Chocolate chip pancakes.
Octopus salad. Probably like Cheerios or something. French toast. I would say bagels.
Bagels.
I would say everything.
Everything. Okay? Anything and everything. Yeah. If you had to pick one thing in the whole world that your parents had to buy for you, what would it be?
You can buy friendship.
You can buy friendship?
Remote control helicopter that I could get in and fly myself around.
Ooh.
I have everything, so there's really nothing for them to get me.
How do you have everything?
I would say stuffed animals, but I have already enough, so here.
Okay. So, would you rather be an adult or would you rather be a kid?
I think kids get it easier, but sometimes adults have it easier too because they get the boss around everyone. So I think I wouldn't even mind being either one.
I know what I want to be.
Okay.
A kid, because you get to jump around, and if you're an adult, you have to work the whole year around. Never get a break off.
I'd vote for a kid.
You vote for a kid?
I'd vote for a kid.
All right. So, Sydney, do you know what a tithe is? Don't know what a tithe is? Yeah. No? Well, let me ask you. I'm going to ask you this question. Do you know what a tithe is?
Actually, yeah, I do. Isn't it 10% of your yearly income?
That's what it's supposed to be. Look at that. I'm telling you, that's Westminster education right there. Absolutely. Tell me quickly the story of how you guys came to Westminster.
I think Jennifer told me to be at church one morning at 11. I think that's how we got here. She wanted to go to church, and I think she, we were going to be married. I think looking for a church to be married in, and I think when she walked in, she saw the sanctuary, and she was like, "Yeah, that's a nice long walkway." So I think that's what kind of sold it, and then or started to sell. But then I think as we got to know some of the people here, we kind of fell in love with the church and the people here, and so it's been good times ever since.
Well, Ken and I were looking for a church, and we visited a lot of Presbyterian churches in town. And actually, I don't think any of the people at the churches knew that we were there, but we were. And the Sunday that we visited Westminster, we came out and I looked at Ken and I said, "This is it." I said, "We'll look no further."
It had been a really long search. We had gone to lots and lots and lots of big churches here. There are lots of big churches here with big congregations where You feel like a stranger every time you walk in, and you get tired of meeting people for the first time. You know? And had been talking to a friend about places where I thought we might be comfortable, because we are generally open, not real conservative kind of people, and I wanted to go someplace where I felt like we belonged. And was talking to a girlfriend of mine who has beliefs similar to mine, but they don't attend church because her husband is atheist. But she said, why don't you try Westminster, because I think you might like it. And we walked in, and that was the end of it. The end of the beginning, or the end of that story and the beginning of this one.
We had been searching for a while, and as you know the story, had some difficult situations we were wrestling with. And if you remember, I grew up Episcopalian, and so in Arlington, Virginia, as we came down to Richmond, started looking for a church, was very open to other options, and especially with Heather being Presbyterian, looked at both, but I don't want to give you too big a head here, Joel, but you had a lot to do with our decision to come here. Just how real you make it, just how very simple it is and very comfortable, I think was the main thing when we tested Westminster versus the others. I think what really also closed the deal with us, we weren't even full members yet, and when we had a very personal situation and in the hospital, there you were, and we were only going to the church for a couple of months, and I think that's what really sold us, is just how much you care, how easy you make it, how real and practical you make the preachings, and all of which are just very relevant to our situation.
We hope this series of videos will inspire you to re-examine all the awesome and wonderful things that God has bestowed upon you in your life at home and in your life as part of Westminster Church. We have been given a great gift here to be called together as a congregation. And we may differ on a lot of things, but we are united in our purpose, in our mission of reaching out with Christ to an ever-changing world, and our vision that every one of us would become the message of Jesus. We are stewards of God's creation. We are stewards of the good news of Jesus Christ for the world. We are Westminster. That's on the floor. That cannot go in. That's a great answer. You might even get me going. That's not going in.
That's the best answer the whole day.
What?